Hey, and welcome to Vlogmas, I believe, day 18. Today, I am bringing you Spritz cookies. As soon as I decided to do Vlogmas, that was one of the very first things I said. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make Spritz cookies. To me, they look difficult. They look like, how in the world would you get all those little uniform, perfectly little shaped cookies? That has to be hard. It's not. I've been making them for a number of years now, and I'm gonna tell you what, if it's something hard, I'm not gonna do it. Y'all should know that by now. All you need is a good cookie recipe, a good dough recipe, which I think mine is. It's the one I've always used. Cream cheese Spritz cookies. You can use regular butter cookies. The one I'll put on my website will be the one that I use. And a cookie press. Now, there's hardly a thrift store I go to that does not have a cookie press of some brand, old, new, in between. Mine is an OXO. Honestly, I don't even know if I got it at the thrift store, if I bought it. I can't even remember. But just be sure the parts that I'm going to show you coming up, that your cookie press has all those parts, and you're good to go. So it doesn't matter if it's old or new, because a cookie press is going to do just that. It's just going to press out a cookie. I don't think there's a time frame on what a cookie press can or cannot do, depending on when it was made. So the cookies are perfect for gifts, for parties. That's what mine are going to be for. I'm putting them in the freezer and saving them till Christmas. They're perfect for cookie trays. They're so pretty and festive looking, especially if you put the sprinkles on them. Optional, but I highly suggest it. So, let me turn you around and show you just how easy it is to make some really pretty, really delicious, nice and crunchy Spritz cookies. The first thing we'll do is get our flour mixture together. This is 2½ cups of regular all-purpose white flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And so we're just going to whisk this together to get it combined. Okay, now we're just going to set this aside. I might have to adjust my camera, so hold on just a second. Okay, I didn't need to. I think you can see that pretty good. So what I have, if you don't have a KitchenAid, you're going to still want to use your electric mixer because you're going to need it. I have in here 2 sticks of cold butter. And I'm going to add 3 ounces of softened cream cheese. So that's cold butter, but softened cream cheese. And then we're going to mix this until it is like, it's not going to get completely fluffy until we add the sugar, but we're going to mix until it's completely smooth and combined. Okay, now that will do it. That didn't take a minute. So we're going to add 1 cup of sugar. And we're not using any kind of substitutes for anything today. This is going to be the Spritz cookie. And 1 egg yolk. Not the whole egg, the egg yolk. And then we are going to mix this until it is light and fluffy. Okay, if you can see how light and fluffy that is. Now we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And we will mix that until it is blended in. I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides down. Oh, it's nice and fluffy. Nice and soft. Okay, now we are going to gradually add in our flour mixture. So just a little at a time. And you want to be careful when you crank up your mixer, because that flour will go everywhere. Ask me how I know. So start off slow, and we're going to mix it in really, really well before we add the next. Okay, now let's go to the other side of the kitchen and make some cookies. Okay, so here is my cookie press. The handle part has this little button on the top where you pull the plunger up. So you want your plunger all the way to the top. Then you're going to take your bottom cap. These are the two, I hope that's not glaring, the two Christmas. Mine come in a little box, and there's different dies, whatever you want to call them. I have two that are Christmas, the snowflake and the Christmas tree. So we'll just start with the snowflake. So just put it in the bottom, doesn't matter whichever side. Put it in the bottom, and it doesn't matter which side you screw it on. They're both the same. Of course, that's the way mine is. Give it a good tighten down. Now, all we have to do is fill it with some cookie dough, and I've got a smaller spatula here to try to fit down in here better. So we just want to fill it up, and I'll try to eyeball, well, I mean, I guess I'm trying to see if I can get like half snowflakes and half trees. We'll do the best we can. Hold on, let me get a spoon. I need a smaller spatula just for this, but you do with what you got, right? So you just want to make sure your cookie dough is filled all the way full. There, maybe that'll get it. Okay, we're getting, you see we're getting pretty full there, so hold on just a second. That will do. this out of the way. And then you just take your top and screw it on. Just hand tighten it. Now, I'm using my big cookie sheet just because it's easier. You get more cookies at a time. And I know that's glaring. I apologize. But if I don't have that light on my camera, you won't be able to see what I'm doing. And it's a non-stick cookie sheet. Take your little... Okay, so I got some coming through already. So maybe my first one might be okay. Usually the first cookie is a bust, kind of like your first pancake. That's how it always works for me. But what you want to do is you just set it, and this has a I got cookie dough everywhere. Well, just set it down. You can go all the way in the corner, and all you're going to do, I don't know what my camera angle is. Hold on, let me check. That's a good angle, actually. So hold your cookie press, and you're just going to press down on the handle. Just that click, there should be a cookie under there. Like I said, the first one, just pick it straight up. Didn't come through. Try one more time. Pick it straight up. Okay, see, we're getting close. See how that first one looks kind of wonky? Now, this has a built-in spacer because you can't go any closer than that first cookie you just did. So just mash it down and pick it up. Okay, see how much better that looks? And you're just going to go along. And get just as close as you can get to it. I can't see what I'm doing that way. That way you get more cookies on your baking sheet. So we're pretty close to the bottom. We're going to go ahead and refill our thing. Now, I did mean to tell you, put these on an ungreased baking sheet. I would use nonstick for sure. I've never used anything but nonstick, so I don't want to tell you use one that's not, and then they stick, because nonstick is all I've ever used. But you do not want to grease it. There's enough butter in here, trust me. You don't need to grease it. So to fill it again, pull your plunger up, unscrew it. Oh, I said just hand tighten it. My hands are weak. Oh my gosh. Can you see how weak my hands are? There we go. There's a little bit of cookie dough left. Then just refill it. Now if you want to, let's see, let's go ahead and change. Stuck. Just pop it loose. You can scrape that cookie dough back in the bowl. Sits over here. Change it to our Christmas tree. And just screw it right back on. No cleaning in between, nothing like that. So what I want to do, now this is completely optional, but when me and Sebastian made them together a couple years ago, this was his favorite part. And I let him, if there was one cookie and a half a cup of sugar around it, that's how we baked it. It did not bother me because we were making cookies together. You don't have to see, it's going to do that. You don't have to decorate them, but I think it makes them pretty. And you can do them any color, obviously, whatever seasons you're doing. And I'll tell you this, because I'm not going to make you watch me spritz every one of these cookies, because this will make about 8 dozen. I'm going to do red snowflakes and green Christmas trees. As this is baking, that sugar will caramelize to the bottom of the baking dish, baking pan. So this is going to take more than one batch. You need to wipe it clean, get all that off of there, because then it's just going to burn to the bottom of your cookies, the new cookies, and you want to make sure it's cool. Do not put these on a hot baking pan, because then your dough is going to start melting and you're going to have a ugly cookie. So let me finish pumping out all these cookies. Oops, hold on a second. That was Flair's alarm to get up. I'm doing these early in the morning. These will bake at 350. Go ahead and have your oven preheated to 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. You just want the edges, they're just going to start to get brown. They're not going to brown completely, but they're just going to start to get brown. So let me finish doing the cookies. I'll bake the first batch, and then I'll show you what they look like. Okay, these baked for 12 minutes. I don't know if you can see around the edges where they're just starting to turn brown. They smell delicious. I've let them sit here in the pan. The pan's still hot. I don't want to touch it, but I've let them sit here and cool off just a couple minutes. You want them to firm up. See how that is moving around without being misshapen? You can already hear it. Let's see. Don't burn my hand. The bottom got brown. That's not too brown. You don't want to go any farther than that. And we're going to set them off to the side. I don't know if you can see over here on the side. There is a cooling rack that came with the cookie pan. And so we just want to put them on the cooling rack and let them cool completely, because we don't want soft. You can put them on wax paper if you don't have a cooling rack, but it's preferable because you want a crunchy Spritz cookie. You don't want a soggy one, and it might steam sitting on the wax paper. So if you can get a cooling rack, I would definitely get one if you're going to make Spritz cookies. So I'm going to take these off of here, and then I will clean up this sugar, let this pan cool, and finish up my dough. Now, do not try to cool your pan. I think I can get them with my hands. Yeah. In cold water, because you'll risk warping your baking sheet. You don't ever put hot metal in cold water like that, because you will warp. So anyway, let me hush up talking and I'll finish up my cookies, and then we'll come back at the end and see what we have. So here they are. Now, this is not all of them. It made a lot more than this, but this is a nice little cookie tray. Give it to someone as a gift. Put them on your buffet table for your Christmas gathering. I'm going to put mine in the freezer until Christmas and bring them out for our Christmas Eve party. And these are delicious. I've already had one. You know, I had to taste it. Nice and crunchy, just the way you want them to be. So I hope you see how easy it is to make such a pretty little cookie. And I hope you give it a try. You'll find out it really is easier than the cookie might look. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on my next Vlogmas.